CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us for our 4 p.m. Quickcast. We'll begin with your weekend next weather forecast, taking a live look at downtown Miami. There it is, a quiet, cooler day today, but how does our weekend look? Next Weather Chief Meteorologist Ivan Cabrera is joining us now. And Ivan, we've got cooler and warmer days this week.
Yeah, everybody's looking great. Fort Lauderdale there, and as well, we're looking at the sunshine just wall to wall here with scattered clouds. We had 50s this morning. Temperatures nice and comfortable as we talked about, the layers today. We're in the 70s. The humidity is low. The wind's a little up there. It's a breezy, so that's causing some issues along the beach and across the boating sector here as we head through the weekend. But otherwise, we're looking pretty good and have some changes, big changes coming up for Sunday and heading into early next week. We'll talk about that in a second, but let's get you through tomorrow. Expecting just some isolated showers and mild temperatures. I don't think we'll be as cool in the morning because we don't have that north wind anymore. We have an east wind off the water, so that's going to keep temperatures in the mid-60s for the morning hours, and then we'll get back into the 70s for afternoon high temperatures. Sunday actually looks drier now, right? So we were talking about this Gulf system. It looks to be slowing down. The intensity is still going to be there, so we're expecting some heavy rain, but it looks like Sunday will salvage a day with just no rainfall. Here it's going to be drier, and then Sunday night and into Monday we have a next alert for the potential of some very heavy rainfall here across South Florida. The latest trends with both the European and the GFS are also indicating some significant rain. We're going to go for 70%, and that's just the coverage as far as how much rainfall we get. It could be several inches. Things will begin to wind down as we head into Tuesday. So let's pinpoint that on a next weather rain tracker. You begin to see again some onshore showers are coming in throughout the day on a Saturday, so we'll go rain chances at 10%. A lot of cloud cover as well. Now watch what happens as we head into Sunday. We actually dry things out, so we reverse the winds. We're going to have more of a land breeze here as opposed to the wind off the water. That's going to do two things. It's going to keep us nice and dry, but also allow for daytime temperatures to warm up a little bit more so. And then by Sunday night, this is the leading edge on Monday of what will be some heavy rainfall coming in. That's as close as it gets on Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, that's when we peak as far as the heaviest rainfall here. So this is the latest GFS. This is the American model. We're looking at the potential there. It's spitting out about 1 to 3 inches. The European has consistently insisted on South Florida being the bullseye for the rainfall, and that would give us several inches of accumulation. We're talking the potential 2 to 3 inches. If that would verify, of course, we'd be dealing with some flooding. Along with the severe weather potential, we could have some strong thunderstorms. So keep checking back with us. Enjoy the weekend. Looks good Saturday, Sunday. Rip currents are going to be high on the beach, but then tune back in as we head into the early part of next week. Monday could be a nasty day for us here. Small craft advisories for the Atlantic waters and the Florida Keys as the winds are going to start whipping up for tomorrow. There are the milder temperatures in the morning, mid-60s, and then by the afternoon we'll jump about 10 degrees for the daytime high. And your forecast will go this way again with just some isolated showers throughout the day. We're looking pretty good for our big ride and run tomorrow. Cancer Challenge, and then there's the next alert coming up for Monday with that flood potential, severe weather potential before things begin to diminish and quiet down for us, warming up as well by late next week.
Okay, Ivan, thanks a lot. See you tomorrow at the DCC. 2 former Miami-Dade Fire Rescue firefighters are facing manslaughter charges in connection to a training accident that claimed the life of one of the firefighters' sons. Francisco Antonio Camaro and Rafael Fernandez are charged with manslaughter and culpable negligence. Police say Camaro's son, 28-year-old Fabian Camaro, was allowed to be present during a training exercise in Virginia Gardens back in June of last year. The son was seriously injured and then died. Camaro and Fernandez resigned from the department months later. We're learning more about how thieves stole the luxury cars belonging to star athletes Carson Beck and his girlfriend Hanna Cavinder. Police say 4 men were involved in the heist and entered Beck's home in South Miami in the middle of the night to look for key fobs to the cars. They made off with a Lamborghini and Mercedes-Benz and a Range Rover that belonged to Cavinder. 2 of the cars have been recovered by police. Police arrested one person linked to the thefts. 20-year-old Taekwon Anderson is facing several charges, including burglary and grand theft. A man who police say was targeting older gay men is behind bars. Police say he was responsible for the brutal murders of 2 men. 25-year-old Zolt Zolimoy is facing 2 counts of second-degree murder. Police say he befriended 2 men before strangling them to death. Carlos Villarquin, the first victim, was 66 years old. He was discovered dead in a bathtub of his apartment in Miami Beach in November. 2 months later, 71-year-old Rodolfo Fernandez de Velasco was found dead in his car with both front seatbelts wrapped around his neck after a crash in Little Havana.
This individual that was out there preying on members of our community would have gotten away with these crimes if it wasn't for the diligent work of our investigators and the close partnership we have amongst these agencies.
But not for the collaboration with the federal government, with Manny homicide team, his folks, we would not have found him. Thank goodness we did. Because there's no doubt in my mind, had he not been caught, we would have done this again and again and again.
Well, the suspect is Hungarian and has been placed on an immigration hold because authorities say he overstayed a visa. CBS News Miami's Peter Dench will have new details on the investigation tonight on CBS News Miami at 5, so don't miss it. The MacArthur Causeway is back open after being shut down for about 9 hours overnight. It was due to a bad wreck involving 2 vehicles. 2 people rushed to the hospital. We're working to learn their conditions and how this crash happened in the first place. In North Miami, police are investigating what caused cars to catch fire. It happened near Northeast 3rd Avenue and 191st Street. We know at least 2 cars were badly charred. No word yet if anyone was hurt. The Haitian American Professionals Coalition held a news conference today after the Trump administration's announcement that it will be removing temporary protected status for Haitian migrants. The move announced yesterday could affect more than 500,000 Haitians living here in the United States, many of whom live in South Florida. Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levine Cava is reacting to the Trump administration's move, saying it is putting thousands of families at risk by returning to a country in turmoil. She recognized the issue with our borders, but disagrees with revoking protection for people following the law and contributing to our economy. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor will have more tonight on CBS News Miami at 5. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's decision to end temporary protected status for Venezuelans is facing a legal challenge. The National TPS Alliance, along with Venezuelan plaintiffs, have filed a lawsuit in California federal court on behalf of 600,000 Venezuelans at risk now of deportation. The lawsuit filed in San Francisco seeks to restore an 18-month extension granted by the Biden administration in January, which had protected Venezuelans from deportation until October of 2026. Under the new policy, half of those affected could face removal as soon as April 2nd. The lawsuit claims that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is leaving more than 300,000 people in legal limbo. It goes on to say her decision was influenced by racial bias. The list of federal workers being laid off is growing. We're going to show you who is being affected when we come right back. Welcome back. The Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is expected to turn its focus on the Department of Defense now. It comes as at least 10,000 laid-off federal workers received notices of termination over the past week. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
The list of laid-off federal workers continues to grow. At least 10,000 have lost their jobs. That includes more than 6,000 IRS staffers expected to be terminated by the end of the month. Among the thousands of jobs targeted within Health and Human Services, Katie Sandlin, an educator at the National Institutes of Health.
I've worked so hard, and I've just always thought that hard work pays off, you know, and it doesn't feel like that right now.
As workers' unions fight back in court, a judge ruled Thursday the firings can continue for now, saying the challenges have to go through the Federal Labor Relations Authority, which handles disputes between unions and federal agencies.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
Elon Musk celebrated efforts to slash government using a chainsaw as a prop at the Conservative Political Action Conference Thursday.
If all the money is just spent on paying interest on debt, there's no money left for anything. Yeah.
But Republican lawmakers are fielding concerns from constituents back at home. Oregon GOP Congressman Cliff Bentz heard from them at his town hall.
And we've been through downsizing before, and you can do it in a way that is humane. Yes. And treats people with dignity. And doesn't fire them on the spot.
Data shows the vast majority of the more than 2 million federal workers live outside Washington, D.C. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the CBS News data team has found so far 2,000 probationary workers at the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, are among those who've lost their jobs. Turning now, the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. The ceasefire deal with Hamas could be in jeopardy after Israel says one of the bodies returned by the terror group is not who they said it is. Israeli officials say they expected the bodies of a family of three, a 4-year-old, his 9-month-old brother, and their mother. But the body that was supposed to be the mother was not her. Israel's prime minister vowed that Hamas would pay for the violation of the agreement. Hamas says the mother's body may have been mixed up with other human remains. Meanwhile, Israeli police are investigating explosions on several empty buses outside Tel Aviv. So far, we can report that no one has been hurt. Luigi Mangione appeared in a New York courtroom today for the high-profile murder case of a healthcare CEO. Prosecutors and Mangione's defense lawyers appearing before a status hearing. The judge could set deadlines for pretrial paperwork and possibly even a trial date. Mangione is accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last December in New York. He led authorities on a national manhunt for nearly a week. And finally, we hope you will join us tomorrow for the Dolphins Cancer Challenge at Hard Rock Stadium. It is a great event. We will broadcast a live CBS News Miami special challenging cancer during the festivities at the stadium. We'll take you to the finish line with live interviews and share the stories of the people who are at the center of this great effort. We hope you'll join us tomorrow at noon in person here on CBS Miami and the CBS Miami stream. It is the biggest fundraiser in the entire National Football League, so it is quite an event. And that's CBS News Miami's Quickcast. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Join Lauren Pastrana and myself tonight on CBS News Miami beginning at 5.